I'm trying to get it to where I don't have to tear down stuff and set up stuff all the time. And I'm still not quite there, but I'm better than we were. So.
Yeah. I love the idea of having something you can just drop into without setup. I mean, for me, I have to set up every time. Like, you know, I'm in my office now, but like I had to, you know, I see some shadows and stuff that are bothering me, but like I have my little light over here and I put some tinfoil around it. So it creates more of a cone shaped light that's just on me, and like the background isn't lit as much. So the blue kind of pops out more. But I don't want to be messed.
Are those new?
No, it's just I have this little like ring light that someone gave me, and I just try to use it for everything because I'm cheap. But so what I'm doing is I'm to try to angle the light a bit because it's a very wide light. I'm trying to, so fucking cheap. I put tinfoil around it. And so I have this, like, I wish I could show you a picture of it. I'm looking at tinfoil right now to try to try to angle the shape of the light a little bit so it's not too much spilling on the back. I still got a little spill right here, and 3 shadows, but you know, you can't.
Yeah, look, it actually looks pretty good. So
I went with the blue because I wanted to match your background a little bit, because I was thinking, like, you know, one upgrade to the terminal mode Termcast project is to like start getting everybody that's on the show into that world as well.
Yeah, I thought about making backgrounds for everybody. I think that I set up the Video Ninja now so you can do virtual effects. I don't know if you saw that. You can do the...
I saw it on the way in. You can't do it midstream, can you? Oh, you can.
Yeah, so you can goof around with that. I don't know how well they work, but, you know.
How well am I coming through? I want to make sure my internet's...
You look good, and there's no stuttering at all.
Cool, because I accidentally went on Wi-Fi, but I could have hardwired it. But I just realized I'm on Wi-Fi because I was doing some airdropping earlier. But let me...
Yeah, your color matching is nice. I guess your career has set you up for doing that. Whereas that guy over there, Big, you look at how shitty his setup looks.
I mean, let's get the blue screen to kind of pull it in world a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I should. I was thinking of, rather than doing a green screen, doing like how they use the LCDs for backgrounds now. You know, how they have that whole setup where you go into the entire place is just LCD screens instead of green screens. I was going to buy a bunch of LCD, make my room that. I was going to do.
You should do that. That way, I mean, if you just have a giant LCD behind you, you look like you're on InfoWars. You should just steal the InfoWars set.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to go to. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, I could do this, but what do I put on it? Just green.
I can put stuff in on my end, but you can also do it on your end. I can show you how to set up.
It's a whole thing right now.
Virtual. There you go. Look at that.
That's not bad. I mean, it's a little like I'm kind of glowing with the blue, but this is a really good stream already. I can tell.
Always.
Wait, digital zoom. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, by the way, I went to the dentist today, and this is the best my teeth are going to look for like a year. So,
did you go to the dentist?
Take a good look.
Did you go to the dentist, or are you just making that up?
No, I went to the dentist today.
I thought you went to get a haircut. You have a dentist who does haircuts?
I got all my stuff done today. It's been like it's been a power day. But I went to the dentist. I got nothing in my teeth, no stains or anything. So like, please, if you're a fan, take a good look. This is a good stream. Okay, let's get out of here. This is too much. That's too much. That's just being rude.
It was cool though. That was in the software.
It's a slider, yeah. I might just punch in just a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Cut out that light over my head. Cut out that row. Look at this. Look at this. Ready. Oh, how's that?
For a digital zoom, it's pretty good.
Is the quality degraded?
No, and it does. I can't tell. I mean, for one, it's what is it? Interpolated. I don't know what the correct term is.
Is it slowing down at all? Like
No, you seem to be okay. And we've got 2 people watching, which is probably me and you. Are you watching?
I'm not watching. We got one person.
That's one person. Welcome, whoever you are.
Hi.
As usual, anybody who wants to join, we're set up here to take call-ins and video call-ins or just voice call-ins. So anybody wants to talk about anything, you unidentified watcher, feel free to join us.
And how do they do that? They just
I just can send them a link.
Okay, you send them a direct link.
Yeah, and the link that you have now will work for future stream. It'll just pop you right in. As I made it so there's like 4 slots, but we can take like infinite number of people. But there's 4 main slots for hosts and guests, so we can have, I can switch scenes and everything. You can't see it on YouTube. You would be able to see it if I were doing the switching, but you don't see it in the green room here that we're in.
Right on.
So
let me ask you a question. Okay, can you lean forward again like you just did? Because that mic get it shows that the mic is so small.
Yeah,
it's like the one I'm holding. Wait, I should just
The worst thing about it is that my mic is actually over here. Like you can see that I'm cutting off here. So I have to pretend that I'm talking over here. But if the closer I get to the mic, the quieter I get. So
is your mic on?
Yeah, it should be, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Because you sound kind of roomy.
Oh, yeah. See, if I talk here, does it sound better?
Yeah, it does. You should just stay there the whole time. Keep your face half out. That's where the green screen line is. That's a perfect place for you.
This is our quality stream as always.
Welcome to our 400th tech stream.
Running on empty is a fan from Twitter of who? Probably Justin, because I've got
I don't know. You're nicer than I am on Twitter.
Am I? Do you think so?
I think so. I think you're a lot more, in general, you're a lot more gentle than I am. Sometimes I get real mad.
I guess I'm not trying to be myself, because normally I'm like, in terms of like just text stuff on a computer screen, I can be like really debatey and just get into it with people and start, tossing out logical fallacies against them. And
oh God, I'm so glad you never do that around me.
I do it around the house. I've done it ever since I met my partner. I always said that's a post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy. After this, therefore, because of this.
You're discussing like what you want for breakfast that day. You must be a joy. You must be a joy to live with.
So running on empty says a JTB fan first and then a terminal mode fan.
Hey, that's awesome.
All right. So
that's great.
Are you on Blue Sky?
Yeah, are you on Blue Sky? Because I'm trying to migrate over, but I've got people that are on both platforms that follow my stuff, so I feel kind of weird just abandoning people, and abandoning friends. So, but Twitter does feel pretty bad most of the time. I know it's kind of a trope to say that, but really, it just like, I don't know how much Nazi shit you can ingest on a daily basis before you go nuts.
Yeah, on the one side, like Blue Sky does, I like the fact that it's like heavily moderated and they actually have guidelines there. That's nice. But on the other side, it does become sort of an echo chamber where people are just, telling everybody what they want to hear, and it's less. But I mean, I guess Twitter's never really been a place where things are decided. It's just a video game where people are competing for points. It's not like the truth comes out of it.
Yeah, and generally, like most social media platforms are kind of like, I don't know, they're not ours. They're not owned by us and are designed by us. They're designed by and for other people. So they're never like conducive to what we want to get out of them 100%, but we kind of make them work for us the best we can. Blue Sky is interesting because from what I understand, the crew behind it is more committed to the actual project of like decentralized social media. To what extent that's true, or if it's just branding, I don't know. Because they're also like getting venture capital money from crypto investors. So like it's the same people that invest in crypto.com and some of the other big platforms and crypto projects, quote unquote crypto projects, coins. They're also like the primary investors in Blue Sky. And it's like a Jack Dorsey project, and he's a Mr. Crypto guy. So it's like there's a whole branding that kind of targets like the anti-Elon crowd, but it's bringing all of us into a platform that's like sponsored and run by that kind of shit and paid for. Like the venture capital money, they're not donating money. They want a return on investment. So like, I don't know what the game is yet, but I'm sure it's going to implode at some point. We'll just see how long it takes to do that. But for now, there's the people on there. We're all trapped in these social media spaces. We're all like mind prisoners, addicted. So like, it's not the people's fault. It's just like, these things are bound to, I don't know. We live under capitalism. It's bound to, like, everything we like is bound to get eaten at some point and destroyed. So, and we have no say in it.
Yeah. That's I guess it's the enshittification of everything. We get something nice at first, and then they just turn it to crap as they gradually over time try to extract as much profit from us, in terms of our data and our behavioral patterns and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I say this, it's one of my soapboxes, but people who make content, for the most part, we don't get paid for the most part. I think I made $1,000 since I started putting out YouTube videos 4 years ago, and that was only off of like 2 videos because they just happened to pop in the right way. But that's it. So, for the most part, most of us who make all this content, we're like volunteer employees for these companies. Because they're extracting all the value from everything that we create. Like, these guys aren't billionaires for no reason. You know what I mean? They're keeping the money that they should be paying us for making all of the content, for making these platforms worth anything at all. Who cares about the algorithm? It's the people on there that are making all the cool stuff. So we're volunteer employees in that respect, and they owe us wages. On the other side of that, they're also like mining our brains. It's the whole thing is to like extract behavioral data from us. And so, like, we're working in the brain mine for however many hours a day we're on social media. So we're basically like, for a lot of people, especially for a content creator, you have like 2 full-time jobs that you're not getting paid anything for. It's pretty sick. Like, I think people who create content are like the one of the largest exploited labor forces on planet Earth. We just don't even know we're in labor. We just think we're just texting in the corner. But like, that's somebody's business. We're the employees of the business. Well,
a lot of people are. There's kind of like a carrot dangling too, that everybody thinks that if they do it long enough, they can just become a celebrity and make money doing it. I think is part of the motivation. I think
totally.
So on another note, it was Black Friday and I had to consume products. I bought a Meta Quest 3 VR headset.
You want to play together?
Do you have one?
I think I have an earlier one. Yeah, someone gave it to me.
Well, it came with the Batman game, which I'd never played VR since the Virtual Boy, since the Nintendo Virtual Boy. That was my first experience. But when I was using it, I was thinking, man, they've really nailed gathering data from people, because they have this thing on it. You have to measure your room. It actually is recording everything in your house. So it seems to be
you have to track a space inside your house, and it's recording everything around you, recording your family, recording like everything you're saying. It's tracking your eye movements, like what things you react to. Imagine that for sales. So so here's an example. With something like Meta Quest or any of these kind of like VR things, I mean, I'm sure there are some that are just VR projects, but like there's so much money in like mining our data and our behavior that like I'd be very surprised if it wasn't all of the virtual reality platforms doing this. But like, imagine like, okay, it's tracking your eye data, so it knows what things you're most prone to look at and at what speed and things like that. So like color, for example, it's going to know like Justin T. Brown, he looks at this certain color the most on average, right? Or the fastest, right? So if they ever want to try to sell me something in the future, they're just going to change it to that color. You know what I mean?
Well, and sometimes too, they have recordings of your eyes, and that's a way you can identify a person. So they actually have physical data to track you. So it's funny how all these people are always talking about the vaccines, having microchips in them that they're using to track this. And they're oblivious to the fact that these devices that they use are gathering data wherever you go. They're transmitting data so they can basically know everything about us. So,
yeah, I feel like folks that are really into that kind of conspiracy stuff that is silly like that, it's almost like cope, because the real conspiracies that are around us at all times, the real like data collection, for example, is so all encompassing and kind of horrific and overwhelming that like it's easier to just make up some like random shit to have like some smaller, simpler story to like put that energy onto. Like, something's fucked up, but do you want to like go deep and realize how bad things really are, or do you just want to like have this simple story over here that it's just like one bad guy? And I think it's easier to like latch onto that simple story than it is like to like have the realization and acceptance that the entire system that we live in, everything around us, is designed to exploit us. And that's a lot heavier to deal with. and then you have to question like how much of your behavior is your own. Do you actually want to be on Twitter all day? Probably not. So like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're all kind of doomed. It's like
we got a human in the chat from our Discord who we love.
Hey human, what's up?
And a human says that Facebook didn't buy Oculus because they're interested in gaming. Yeah, it seems like
their games suck too.
I don't know. The Arkham Shadow game that came with my my headset that I just bought was I've never experienced anything like that. So it was pretty cool. But the whole time I'm playing, I'm like, oh, this is just. I keep thinking of the earlier experiences of how I had to create an account to do it. They make me, jump through all these other hoops because it's their way of gathering data. And I can't help but see that Mark Zuckerberg saw the Wii and thought, if I can make a Wii that can track people's information and we can further sell data and ads, that it would be an incredible product. Because it seems very much like a ripoff of the Wii, how you have the stupid, cheesy avatar and it's all goofy and it makes all the the sounds that they've decided are pleasant and give you those yes. So it's all very sinister, even though when you're in there it's all very cutesy. So it's extremely dystopian. Extremely dystopian.
But it has that Zuckerberg thing of like, this is like a habitat that was designed for humans. You know what I mean? Like it has like you can. So for example, with Quest, you can like design your own like home, right? So like you can live on like a spaceship, or you like where you access all your apps and stuff is like your home base, right? So you can live on a spaceship, you can live like in a mountain somewhere or whatever. And all of the environments, they don't feel like humans would actually like design these things. It all feels like it feels. I know it's designed by a human, but it feels like it's designed by AI trying to replicate what a human would enjoy. It feels like a zoo. And I feel like all the apps feel like that. Like all the games that are like meta games, because they're like whatever game studio they're using, it's like their thing, right? But none of them feel like another game that you would play on a different platform where there was like real like thought put into them and like trying to connect on a human level. All these games just feel like they don't feel like games to me.
Yeah, like kind of like.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Shovel. I think that this Arkham Shadow game, it's like the successor to all the Arkham games that were on the PS3 and whatnot.
Okay, so it's really it's a different company then doing it.
Yeah, and it's a pretty. It's not perfect, but like for $200, I was like, for $200, you don't have to have a computer to run it. It's all inclusive, but that's the thing, is that the money does not come from the sale of the hardware. The money comes from the sale of you. Right. They're using this to get your information, and it's like why TVs are so cheap now. All the TVs are cheap because they put the software on them that track your metrics, and they're selling your data and they're targeting you for shit. So and the thing that's fascinating to me is that I know that the people involved in the project, all these individuals who are making the art and whatnot, that they don't really realize how sinister what they're doing is. But when you put them all together, it really is like a force for evil, and people have no idea of their participation in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. What can I say?
The one thing they wanted me to do was they wanted me to link my headset up to my Instagram account. And I was like, yeah. It's like, and they were like, connect with people on Facebook, which I've never set up. I've never had a Facebook account. And I only did Instagram as a favor to you, because you kept like, you got to be on Instagram. The idea of connecting to people on Facebook is like horrifying enough, let alone connecting to them through a VR headset. That's like the last thing I'd ever want to do.
Yeah, it's a little tough. Did you ever have Facebook? I had Facebook for a while, and I was pretty active on it pre-COVID, but then I just dropped it off because it got I don't know, the whole like how right wing it was becoming and how so much stuff was being pushed and how many other accounts are kind of like being not deplatformed, but like de-suggested. I don't know what the term is. It was just very noticeable. And I also felt like I was addicted in a different way. I keep like jumping platforms because I feel the addiction. I have that in me. And so I was like, I got to get out of here because I want to spend all my time on this thing, but I also hate it. That's kind of where I'm at with Twitter, but Twitter's even worse. Twitter's like you're in a Nazi bar. Yeah.
I never signed up for Facebook ever.
Never?
I never did. And I'm an early adopter of pretty much everything. But when I saw when I saw it online, I was like, ooh, I don't get back in touch with the people. It's like classmates.com. Get back in touch with the people I knew in high school. I think I'll pass on that one.
Well, I had a different context. I got Facebook when it first came out, or not first came out. I was probably a little bit later. It was when I left high school to go to college. And so like I was like in that wave of people that were joining Facebook en masse for like that reason of connecting in college. So I was kind of like wrote it on the way up. Now it's like such a hellhole. So much AI slop.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I think there's so many people out there that have been made worse people by that system. Like if you had inclinations to be kind of conservative, right? Like you just the system like leans you into, here are other people who are conspiracy theorists, and it gives you a home, and you feel less isolated in your weirdness and your conspiracy theories when you find people like that. And I blame Facebook for so many of the world's problems right now in terms of aggregating people together and making everybody think that their thoughts are okay, rather than having a system of, normally people would be ostracized for these behaviors. If you went to your neighbor and started saying Facebook stuff, your neighbor would be like, get the fuck out of here. Right. I mean, nobody talks like they do on Facebook. Twitter's the same way. People are so hostile on Twitter, but if you engaged with your neighbors like you do with people on Twitter,
you get punched.
Yeah, it's just
you get punched. Terrible. Yeah. Running on Empty says the JTB Biden fart video pulled me in. What?
Really?
What's the Biden fart? That's a deep cut, right?
That was the one where. Actually, you have got a number of fart videos.
I do have a couple farts.
You've got.
Yes. Is it the one with Kamala in it too? Because I have one where it's all farting. That's my most embarrassing video.
Yeah, avoiding a human is saying quite happy about the decision to avoid that whole ecosystem is wise. But I mean, it sucks that most people don't realize how they're being manipulated, and it sucks that so many other people just think it's a way of connecting. They believe social media is this force for good, rather than they don't ever provide us anything that is like they're not altruistic anyway. They don't really care about the, connecting with your friends and talking to your family. The whole thing is just designed to extract money from us or extract data or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's extracting data to generate money, basically. It's kind of insidious because the idea of a social media platform is a beautiful thing, the way to connect all humans together. And there are elements to that, but it's all has this exploitative underbelly. The whole thing is there to like, as a facade to kind of, it's functional, but it's a facade in that's not the main purpose of social media. The main purpose is to like mind your behavior. That's the business. And so like that, knowing that's underneath it, everything you do has this like ick to it, and rightfully so, because it's not serving the purpose that we wanted to. Like if we collectively built a social media, it would be different. And it would be, we wouldn't be doing it for profit. We'd be just doing it to like make the world smaller. And that's a beautiful thing. And that mission, I think, is very important, but that's not what any social media company is doing. I mean, Blue Sky at the current moment is a little bit of an exception, but it is backed by crypto venture capital, which means that check is going to come due at some point. And they're going to find okay, let's think about it for a second. Here's a thought experiment. If crypto venture capital is giving Blue Sky millions and millions and millions of dollars, and the pitch of Blue Sky is to be the anti-Elon Twitter, and to attract people like me, attract people like resistance liberals, attract just like everybody that's like left of center, basically, right? Now it's a crypto thing doing that, right? They're investing in it. Why would they do that? They're going to try to like sell, like get us like, they're going to try to build some kind of like left crypto to sell us, essentially, right? I don't know what the other purpose is. It's not altruistic.
Well,
we can pretend it's
they,
altruistic, but
they could eventually, turn to trying to do ads. I mean, Twitter for the longest time was not a profitable venture, and then they started being able to sell ads and whatnot, and then it kind of became somewhat of that. So they could. It's like I think a lot about a drug dealer who gives people free samples of something to get them hooked. Like that's where Blue Sky is at right now. You're getting this thing that is the pure form of it, and you're not seeing all the other shit, and eventually get hooked. And then they're going to start putting baking soda in your cocaine or whatever it is. They're definitely going to turn it to shit at some point.
Yeah, that's the shitification. It's when that rent comes due. Yeah. All these tech, everything that's like venture capital backed. The piper comes. So like. I'm thinking about my industry is film and TV. It became like a venture capital industry, right? Before it was just like the studios. It was all film people. Now, as scummy as the studios can be, let's think about Harvey Weinstein and those kind of folks, right? It was still within like film community people, and that they were actually like passionate about that industry and filmmaking. But now it's all like venture capital money. Like Netflix is a tech company, right? Netflix is like Uber, but for movies. And all these companies, like they intentionally like ran at a loss forever to put the film industry out of business, which is what, if you look around LA, that's what's happening right now. But now like these people, now that they've killed film, they're going to want their money in Netflix. So Netflix is going to be on its way out too. There's only so much you can do.
And it's so unfortunate that without like a huge marketing budget, you can never push back against these things. Like Mastodon, when Elon first took over, was like everybody's talking about Mastodon, but it was like a little complicated to set up, and we hear nothing about it anymore. It's like Blue Sky, I think, is like it's pitched right at the right moment, but there's no way it's going to stay the way it is now. There's just no way it's going to be this place where it's heavily moderated and everybody's getting along. And eventually they're going to figure out that part of what drives people to social media is the conflict and is the dunking on other people, at least the microblogging type sites.
And if you're, and I mean, that's got to be inherent to any kind of social media, even if we built it, but at least like don't monetize it and don't like incentivize it. That's the main issue is like that you even when it feels justified, it's still stuff that's being pushed in your face for a reason. Like these algorithms know us. They know who they recognize who we engage with. They recognize what kind of content we engage with. They recognize what keywords we engage with, and they throw that at us first. And so like it is insidious in that way. It is kind of a bummer. And that's also that's also what creates the addiction. Like our parents' generation had like what? Ciggy butts and booze. Those things aren't as prevalent in our generation, right? Or any generation under boomer, those things are less prevalent. But our generations have social media addiction. Our brains have been hacked. And it is detrimental. Like I find myself, like personally, like there are days where like I'll get into a social media, like, oh, okay, I have 5 different platforms I look at, and I go in, and then I look up, like taking a breath of air, like coming out of the water, and it's like been a half hour. You know what I mean? And that might happen a couple of times a day, and that's a lot of time. That's the time you could have like done anything else. And it doesn't feel like it when you're doing it. I don't even watch like. And I love like film and TV and stuff, but even when I watch like a show now, like I'm watching this great show on, my neighbors and we just traded all of our our passwords to our accounts. So like now I have Hulu.
Really?
Yeah. And we gave them HBO.
You just incriminated yourself. So,
well, come after me, whatever. Yeah,
I
please
thought
don't
you were
tell
going to say
us.
you gave
Please
him
don't
the
telling
means,
us. Please
your
don't
means
telling
account.
us. No, I do share my means account, but they would encourage that. I share it with a couple other communist friends. Yeah, that's good. Get the message out. But no, I'm watching this show on Hulu starring Jimmy O Yang called Interior Chinatown. It's so good. Here's a free ad. If you like something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, this is going to be right up your alley.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that one of the people from, if you like Dropout, one of the actresses from Dropout is in there, and she's really good. But it's all about like the characters inside of a cop procedural drama. All these like propaganda shows. There's like hundreds of them on the big networks. It's like what if the characters inside of one of those shows were actually alive, like all the actors inside the show, they actually lived inside of these TV shows and they didn't realize they were in a TV show. And so the whole thing is like the unraveling of this concept. And Jimmy O Yang is kind of like the first one to realize it. But it's a very cool show. But anyway, like I love the show. I'm still on my phone half the time. And I don't want to be. And so even though I feel like I'm getting value out of it because I'm a content creator, I'm trying to push my stuff out there. Also, like I have a message that I want to push out there. Also, I want to engage with my friends. Like I don't know if I could have put my phone down. And I think that's addiction. And so I think that a lot of people are in that similar kind of boat. And it's pretty sick. It's like when I worked in restaurants, people had to take smoke breaks all the time. Not because they wanted to, because they had to. I feel like we're constantly taking social media breaks. And that's not a good thing. I think that's a pretty bad thing.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate that I don't know, my generation, like it seems like the boomers are caught up in Facebook and the younger generation is caught up in all these, newer things, Snapchat and TikTok and whatnot. But my generation kind of like we came when the internet was kind of shit. And so the bulk of our experience was like using things like, instant messengers and whatnot, like ICQ. And those were never
ICQ.
Really
AIM.
Yeah, instant
ICQ. Yeah,
yeah, and internet relay basically evolved into what is Discord right now, which is like to me like the way things should be, where communities can moderate it itself. But it's really hard to get it going because when somebody's on Discord, there's like at least the smaller ones. When you're talking to people, sometimes everybody's busy; they don't really see anything, so you don't get a lot of engagement. But you go to Twitter, you go to Blue Sky, you go to these other platforms, and you get that endorphin hit from having people be responsive to you, and so you're less inclined to stay on the more personal one where your data is being less mined. I mean, I'm certain Discord is harvesting this data and they're going to use it for AI processing sets and whatnot, but it's less evil because we have more control over it. We get to moderate it. We get to design it. Whereas these other systems are just completely, hardcore, just data extraction from us. So,
yeah, it's kind of sick. What's the chat say? A human says, corner market, figure out how to exploit them later. They might not have any overarching plans at this point other than grow. Yeah, I mean, every company is, their plan is grow. There isn't a company unless that's your plan. So like that's every one of these platforms is trying to get it as expansive as possible. And now Elon is in the White House with Twitter. Like it's gonna, isn't his stated goal to like be the American answer to WeChat eventually? I mean, I don't know if he has a skill set, but he's in the right position to make that happen. Like all like, so in China, WeChat, you have to have WeChat if you want to buy anything. Like most people don't use cash unless you're like in the countryside or like maybe going to like a food stall or something, old school. But you have to use your phone for all payments essentially. And that's what Elon Musk wants to do with Twitter or X or whatever.
He wants to make it the everything app where you're doing all your interactions are going to go through.
That's what WeChat is. But that's like.
Well, I mean, is it like where you post social media videos too? I think he wants.
Yeah.
Really, I didn't.
It's everything. Yeah, it's basically, and you can call your Uber from it. You have to go through WeChat. And that's what Elon Musk wants to do, but he wants to, because we're in a capitalist country, he wants to like get in there and like take a giant profit from it at the same time. Like we'll probably have to pay to use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to like call a cab? You got that's like tier 2.
Well, I was thinking we were talking about enshittification. I was thinking about the early days of Google when they came online, and all the search engines at the time were pretty lousy. Like you had Alta Vista and Ask Jeeves. You had all these search engines that were very garbagey, but Google
Netscape Navigator. That's what I used when I was like 10.
Yeah, they had. But Google, like at first, it was just a raw search engine. You weren't being targeted for ads. You did, and their motto was "Do no evil." And they seem like you're like, oh wow, these guys are really doing it. But the whole plot all the time is to make you think that the service is genuine and it's in your best interest. And then over time, they gave people free email addresses. They gave them Gmail addresses, and people were like, oh, you had to sign. Everybody was excited to get a Gmail address, not knowing that the whole end game was using your emails to basically scan you and create a profile again to target you for ads. And now like Google is like, the search engine is almost unusable these days. You can't find
with AI. Yeah.
It's just become total garbage. And it's just like everything you get now is just an ad for something when you search something. And for a moment, like Reddit was the place where you could search and actually find people who were helpful. But then somehow they even fucking ruined that. They always figure out a way to make it as shitty as possible because they want to get to the point where they don't drive you away from it. It's still an invaluable tool for you, but they want to maximize whatever thing they can get out of you. So
yeah, they have to milk it at some point. Like that Piper comes.
A human is asking how many social credit points he gets for his dank memes, and as a dank meme poster, you're probably better at it. I don't have any dank memes.
I mean, it depends on who's issuing them, right? Elon Musk, if it's only going to be like the stupidest, worst memes that are made with Grok AI that are going to get the most points. And do you think, like, I'm not going to get any points. I'm going to get negative points. They're going to put me in like X jail where I can't buy anything. Right wingers always are so scared of the social credit thing. Like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen here when you put Elon Musk in charge of all social interaction, essentially, and economic interaction? They're just going to shut it off when they're pissed off about something.
I hate it so much.
I call Elon Musk a pedophile, and then suddenly I can't buy anything at Ralph's. Can't buy groceries suddenly.
Yeah, I mean, you joke, but I mean,
I'm not joking.
I know it seems like a joke, though, doesn't it? I mean, it's so absurd. Yeah. But the retaliatory nature of the people in charge right now is pretty scary, or the people who will be in charge. So.
Yeah, we're in like a revenge of the babies moment. And I was thinking about this today. I was like thinking about there's two things that are happening. You had Neuralink. Oh my God, no way.
I'm going to get Neuralink.
Totally you're on prototype right now, right?
I think that is another like everything he does is so scammy. Like if it was real, they would reveal the science, but it's behind closed doors because it's bullshit. They would have shown this guy who actually did it, and then eventually his little wires disconnected in his brain, and now
it'd be a whole thing. Yeah.
But it's not, because it's like everything he does, it's a scam.
Like his robots, where it's just a guy in a suit, or it's like somebody operating the robot, like in India or something. Yeah. So. Joke. Well, I was thinking about this earlier. I made a tweet about it, and I used some gendered language that I kind of feel bad about, but I think it's really true. I'm thinking about I saw. Okay, we know what happened yesterday. That CEO got popped on the sidewalk, which is nuts. Like a lot of people are celebrating right now, and I think they're kind of justified.
Yeah, and
the celebration.
The issue is that everything on social media is so unnuanced that people don't realize they're not celebrating the death of a dad who has 2 kids. They're celebrating the death of the CEO. And people don't make that distinction. The people who want to criticize are like, this was a real human being. Yeah, he was, and it's tragic for his family, and it sucks. And he might have had people in his life that liked him, but the job
that's true with every single bad person. Like he's a bad
Yeah.
guy. Like it's an ACAB thing. It's all cops are bastards. Okay, yeah. Well, guess what? All health insurance CEOs are bastards too.
You don't
Like
have to say all health CEOs. It's all CEOs. To rise to that position, you have to be a shitty person. You can't be a good person to rise, because the whole idea is maximizing profit for a business. So, and putting people
in health insurance, it's like triply disgusting because one, it doesn't need to exist. Like we live in the 21st century. Like every other country has like some form of like socialized medicine. Instead of not a for-profit medical system, which is nuts. But like the whole point of health insurance, the entire business model of health insurance is to get you to pay them money, which was actually forced for a while through Obamacare. You had to buy a private product under penalty of law, or a penalty of, I guess the penalty would be like a fine, right? You had to buy this private product. And the whole point of the only reason they make money is they take your money and then they don't pay it out, or they pay out as little as possible. That's the business. So for example, like my wife and I I didn't have it, but like I'm the dad. My wife had a kid.
You go through the same thing. It's not as stressful on your body, but you do go through this similar stresses if you're any sort of real dad.
Listen, but having been in the room, the amount of stress that I would feel compared to like what she went through is like, I feel bad even saying I'm like, the we is like so weak. You know, she went through so much. It's like, I have a totally new respect for having like witnessed it personally for the process of like pregnancy and birthing. It's stunning and scary, and you have to be so brave and strong to go through. I was so much anyway. I had a Joe Biden moment right there. Oh, anyway,
just walk off into the rainforest at this point.
Yeah, walk off into the rainforest. I wish he never came back. That would have been the perfect end. Just never come back. He gets bit by an anaconda or something. But yeah. So we had here we go again. She had a kid, and I was the dad of it. But the bills are crazy. Even after insurance, you still owe thousands and thousands of dollars to have a baby. It's so expensive to have a kid. So already in this country, it's a problem. And in the health insurance company, their whole point is like to look at your bill and be like, well, we'll pay a little bit, but not all of it. And we're going to keep some of that. And who keeps it? It ain't the employees that work. It isn't the person answering the phones at the insurance company. It's that guy that got fucking shot on the sidewalk. That's the profit, is their bonuses. So they get paid like tens of millions of dollars a year to like hurt people, to steal their money. And what happens when you steal somebody's money? It fucks up their personal life. It fucks up their family life. It fucks up their work life. It fucks up their mental health. And it puts them in fucking debt. It can put them on the street. And it can kill people. So if you really boil it down, that CEO's job is to fucking steal your money and kill you. That's his primary goal. So like, and he's done that and United Health is one of the worst out there for claim denials. I saw Ken Klippenstein shared a graph today. It was like, oh, here's like the company that is the worst with denying the most claims, right? Mm-hmm. And it's United Health, and it's him. He's the CEO of it. It's his plan to deny. So like,
and last year, ProPublica did an investigation of somebody who like went after like somebody who was denied medical assistance on that healthcare plan. So like this whole story is very prescient, you know?
Right? So. And so, forgive me when people are celebrating, joyous, because not just we collectively not just got revenge for all the death that individual has caused and exploited, and all the pain, but also like. Didn't Aetna just like, wasn't there some controversy with Aetna? Was it Aetna? There's another company that was
always controversy.
Yeah, there's always controversy. But there's something with like they wanted to stop. One company wanted to stop covering anesthesia as part of their health insurance plan.
And halfway through,
yeah. And then today they said, well, actually, we're going to walk that back. So not only was there like some like retribution, but there was also like, did that assassination actually have an effect? Did it actually make these people nervous for once?
I doubt it. Turtle Time voiceovers from the previous stream is here again, and
What's
welcome
up,
Turtle
Turtle
Time.
Time?
I hope things are going
Good to have
better
you
with
back.
you and your family. And they haven't found the shooter, but they have that picture of him, and I cannot believe what
not him.
You don't think that's him?
The face?
The face?
No, it's like a different jacket and stuff.
Really? That guy has such
Has chest pockets.
He's got a genuine smile, though. I mean,
He's cute as fuck. Yeah,
dude. It was like very disarming for an assassin. But
yeah.
And Patrick Thomas says he didn't realize this channel streams. Perfect topic. It was Blue Cross bullying.
Blue Cross. That's right. That was Blue Cross.
Yeah, my father-in-law, he's retired now, but he was a cardiologist and he dealt with all these health insurance companies. And his favorite payer was Medicare. All of these other companies were always scrambling to pay the minimum as possible. And he would there was a company for a while. Arizona is a very libertarian state. I've said this many times, but we always get these little startup businesses that are just designed to extract profit in whatever field it was. And so this company, it was called FHP, and he referred to it as the fatal healthcare plan. FHP was fatal healthcare or something like this. And it was always funny because I told him that I had, it was, it used to be a bigger deal, the different types of care, like Cigna. What is it? The difference between Cigna and these other things that are,
Sigma Health.
Yeah, so it hasn't gotten any better. It seems like it's if anything, it's worse than it was decades ago. And people in America just can't grasp the concept of single payer being better because they've been so for centuries there has been a project to demonize socialism. And people don't think that it's a good thing, even though, like, when I think about socialism, I think public libraries, I think public schools, it's so beautiful. And the whole project right now is to destroy these things so they can privatize them.
Yeah. And the YMCA is like a project of getting rid of like local recreation centers across the country, especially in smaller towns. And so, like, where there used to be a recreation center, now there's a private Christian company in the YMCA that's like it's a every time you see a YMCA, just know that's part of a deconstruction project and a privatization project. So many things that we take just for granted that are just like part of the fabric of where we live, but like that used to be ours and it got stolen by some rich people. Recreation centers used to be everywhere.
So I think the project of reclaiming socialism as a net positive is a good one, and however we can get that out there. But it's hard, especially with the people in power now. They're going back to demonizing communism, even though that's not a thing here in America. Yeah, it's like I've never met. I mean, even
I've
when
met
you
all
meet somebody who
communists in America.
Yeah. So.
I think it's a pretty. I think it's a pretty easy sell. I mean, like, the word socialism is so demonized and so misunderstood as well. Even people who are like socialism kind of got reintroduced as a phrase and like destigmatized because of Bernie. But even the people that were supporters of Bernie, not all of them understood the ideas of socialism. Mm-hmm. Like people think it's just like it is just like public libraries and stuff, but that's not just like the core of it, mm-hmm. right? That's like that can also be just social welfare, mm-hmm. right? There are countries that are not socialists that have libraries, you know what I mean, and have really good public school systems that aren't socialists. Democratic socialists, but it's still capitalism with like a lot of band-aids, right? Socialism is like when we actually own everything. Like people own, like the people that work at Amazon are like part owners of the company of Amazon. And when that happens across every single country, then every single place of employment, at least the big ones, then you have a socialism, right? And I think that's really where you're going to see, yes, America could have a lot of democratic social reforms. It ain't going to happen in this country without a revolution because we live in the capital of the world. But say if we had Bernie world, it still wouldn't be socialism because people would still work at Tesla. They wouldn't be owners of Tesla. And I think that's when you actually get to that level, that's when you start to see the real big net changes and net positive from socialism. When the workers at Tesla could actually, like, instead of like focusing on the fucking Cybertruck, they could collectively come up with a better car that people are actually interested in. Or like updating things in a different way, or actually being innovative, not just making a big ugly fucking dumpster that drives around and crashes. That would be a net benefit, I think. And every company would be like, Amazon would be a better company if all the employees had something to say about it. As a collective. I mean, you get to figure out the hierarchy within that, how that, well, not the hierarchy, but how the collective decision-making works. Maybe you nominate somebody who nominates somebody, you know, some kind of structure, because it's kind of messy just to have everyone with an opinion. But I mean, that's what governments are. And like, if you structure your company like a government, then I think we know this is true because we don't live under libertarianism. We know libertarianism, where there is no government, would just be a nightmare. And that's what companies are. Companies are like libertarian little countries. You know, if you work at Tesla, you spend 70% of your waking life at Tesla. You might as well just live there, right? We only live in the American democracy like a third of our life or less. And most of the time we spend at these workplaces, and they're not democratized. We live in like a libertarian hellholes for most of our lives.
I think this brings us to the point of part of the other project that was demonizing socialism was the myth of the great man like Elon Musk. Ayn Rand kind of was part of this whole project with Atlas Shrugged, and how we have everybody in society. Most of us are just average. Most people are just average thinkers and have average capabilities, but we have superheroes who live among us. And so we have a problem in that people are still aversive to the idea of getting rid of a boss who is extracting profit and telling the workers, like, who likes bosses? Like, why are people still in this mode of like, yeah, I would rather a boss run us than have this company be run and owned by my coworkers. It's yeah. But these people are like, their brains are such that they think they've been told that certain people are inferior, and we have super geniuses like Elon Musk, who has not to this day demonstrated any degree of genius other than having money. His genius is that he has money and he buys these other things to make himself look smart. He hasn't created anything. All he does is buy up other people's creativity and present as his own.
But that's what we value in this country. It's like, if we're in the capitalist country, or the home of capitalism, the beating heart of capitalism is America, right? Of course we like think that being a born rich guy who just buys other people's innovations and takes all the credit for them, like, that's what capitalism is. It's just, you just steal from others and you live off other people's work. And so, like, of course that we worship this guy. Of course we got a billionaire president. Of course the vice president, I mean, JD Vance, whatever, Elon Musk is the vice president. You know, of course those guys are at the top. Of course they're the richest people, because like, that's what we value in this country. Our country, there's a fundamental sickness in the way our country is designed from the bottom up, that generates these results. Like, I don't think Donald Trump becoming president is like a fluke. It happened twice now. It's not a fluke. Mm-hmm. That's like he might as well be Uncle Sam in this country. Okay. Elon Musk would be the president if he was a citizen. These are the guys we want to be president.
All right. Patrick is asking about Digby speaking. And the problem right now is that this stream is fairly new and we're still working out the kinks. So in order to have Digby speak, okay, I have to disappear. So, I'm going to disappear for a moment. So you can still hear me though, right?
This is like when Clark Kent steps into the phone booth.
So the question was asked what I think about the class warfare.
Hi, Digby.
Hi, Justin. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Continue.
Patrick, can you hear me? Patrick, I'm just checking to see if I can be heard. I've got lots of insight on the class warfare.
I love it. I love when people come into the stream at this point. You're not muted, right? You have a little mute. I'm Digby. You got a little mute thing next to you.
Okay, so he can hear me.
Okay. This is for you, Patrick.
So I'm fully in support of class warfare. I think that's about all I can say on it right now. I'm all in on the proletarian, and the bourgeois. I oppose the bourgeois class. Maybe I need to be. Maybe I need a better data set so I could be more articulate on this matter. But anyways, I'm going to go back to nuts. I'm going to go back to just looking around.
Thank you, Digby. That was very insightful, and I agree with you.
Okay. The other thing, we can bring in this gentleman here. We have this guy who is waiting.
No.
He can.
Elon Musk, what a fucking nightmare.
My name is Elon Musk.
Hi, Elon. Welcome to the stream.
And also he is also a little slow too. We've got a satellite.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. You could say that again.
Let's see here. So you're supposed to, while Elon is processing his thoughts, you're supposed to keep the conversation going here.
It's good to be here, Justin.
So I'm happy you could make it to our 9-watcher stream.
Yeah, and
Mr.
by
Musk.
the way, if you haven't hit that like button and subscribe.
I hit like, and I'm subscribed.
Really? Because I'm looking at, I see 0, and I'm like, man, nobody's liking this right now.
You got to reload that. You're going to see 3 likes on there, and only one of them are me. The other is Elon, the other is Digby.
6 likes. We got 6 likes. So
we got 6 likes?
We got 11 people. That's like
Hey.
a record for this channel. So,
Wait, Patrick. Okay, no BS, guys. He just moved about 10 minutes down the road from me in Bastrop, Texas. You live 10 minutes away from Elon Musk?
oh man, we got a new best friend here.
Hey, do you have Signal?
Assassination coordinates.
Shh, not on stream. Go to Signal. Go to Signal.
Yes.
So he lives in like he lives in a van or something, right? He lives very frugal. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. He doesn't own a house.
And he somehow is like a top 4 Diablo player in the world.
Oh my God.
But he runs 12 companies and has 85 kids. And
that story upsets me so much as a gamer. I fucking hate that story so much because I know he's got some connections where he bought stuff to.
Yeah. I saw him playing. I saw he had this shitty Elden Ring build that he shared one time. So he's playing Elden Ring, right? Before I had a kid, I couldn't even find time to play Elden Ring. And this guy is supposed to be running 12 companies. You know what I mean? Like this guy
I am
is
good
such
at
a
Diablo and
fucking-
Elden Ring.
I'm sure you are, Elon. Yeah. But when I tweet, like, if I tweet 5 times in one day, I feel like I lost a whole day. This loser tweets like 200 times a day, and he has alts.
Yeah.
Like he's not working at all. This dude doesn't work. That's how you know he's a capitalist. He doesn't work.
And I think Patrick's right too. I don't think he realizes the degree to which he is despised. Like, and Trump to a certain degree too. I think they both get so much praise. They don't realize that equal amount of praise is offset by this huge amount of people who just intensely dislike them.
Yeah.
Elon has so many dick riders on Twitter. It's like crazy. Anything he says, they just are like, oh.
Yeah. Worshippers. That's what the thing I was most afraid of when Trump won wasn't like, I mean, the policies are going to be horrific, but I was really worried about putting 2 guys that have such massive cults and massive right-wing cults into power like that, like putting them in the driver's seat. And that was really concerning to me. And now we're about to live it. I'm going to fix my light real quick. I'm watching my light just like sinking down. 1 second.
Well, while you're setting that up, I would like to praise you you had a really good analysis of one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to have more of a Andrew Tateification of our world as people, embrace this masculinity that these 2 goofballs don't have, but somehow are lumped in with the manosphere, and how that's going to hurt women in general.
Yeah, it's almost like I know this comparison is like old to make, but it is kind of like Aryan ideology behavior where it's like all these fucking losers have an idea of what the ideal man is and none of them are it. You know what I mean? Like Hitler was not an Aryan god, right? He's a fucking little weasel. And these guys are all like ugly losers. You know, Elon Musk can't do anything. Donald Trump is the most out of shape person I've ever seen in my life. And he eats like shit. He has the worst diet ever. Steve Bannon might be the worst looking man alive. You know what I mean? Like these guys are they're nothing, right? But they have this ideology that they push. Even Andrew Tate, like he's got like muscles and money and stuff, but like the guy's really ugly.
Yeah, he's
and
got no
like he's got nothing going on. Yeah, no chin. I mean, not that that's important stuff, but like
yeah, for sure.
Like, none of us are perfect, like or whatever. What is perfect, right? But like they have this idea that they're trying to project that none of them live up to. And I don't know, it's kind of a sickness, but they're going to create a culture of holding people to a standard that none of them can meet. And it doesn't really exist. And it's going to be bad. I mean, it's going to be bad for men because it's going to drive a lot of them insane. Right. And they're going to keep doing stuff like being school shooters and shit. And treating women like shit, but it's going to be even worse for women because then they have to deal with all these fucking losers who have these ridiculous ideas about who and what women are, or are not, and it's just going to be bad for everybody. It's I'm really worried about like say what you will about the policy stuff. I know there's like there's crossover between the right wing and the Democrats, like often like acquiesce to them. Or take on their framing on some subjects like immigration and stuff like that, or like the military. And I hear all those points, but the cultural thing that's going to happen with Donald Trump and Elon Musk in the cultural driver's seat with the biggest microphone on earth is two of the most popular people on earth. Man, that's going to be rough. I'm really worried we're going to be set back in a big way. Hopefully like the counterculture moment that can come out of it will be like, will be really powerful. I'm hoping we'll see things like BLM level, hopefully just to put a foot in the ground as we're all sliding backwards to help stop us, or throw down an anchor or something, so from sliding into like insanity culturally. But I really hope for that, because if we don't have something like that, then we're like really cooked. Because then you're going to have like the ideal men are Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And that's a really piss poor place to be as a culture. I feel like we're kind of fucked if that happens. And it's like in that point, like you might as well just like get out of America, go somewhere else, because our time is up, brother. It's over here. So that was what I was worried about with Trump winning, for the most part, among everything else, of course. RFK has brainworms.
Justin, have you seen my incredible physique?
Yeah. He looks like Quado from Total Recall. You know this character?
A little face inside his nose.
There's a guy growing right here. He's shaped like a Cybertruck. It's so strange. I saw someone had a pretty good theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't care about spreading misinformation about Elon Musk. Good. I heard he was like taking steroids or something, and if you take steroids and don't work out, then like you get weird body dysformation like that. That's what I heard.
He's sucking his gut in, like he has a massive gut, and he just I constantly sucking it in because I have a chubby,
I was real chubby when I was a teenager, so I know what that's like.
Patrick was talking about Austin, which keep Austin weird, and has always been kind of a liberal enclave in Texas, and how these goons are kind of trying to reclaim it. They always take what's something good and then they put their spin on it and it becomes awful. Like Austin was the place where Alex Jones did come out of with Bill Hicks and Kevin Booth. Kevin Booth was the producer for both of them, and they kind of both went down to Waco, and that's kind of where they were both radicalized at this moment. Bill Hicks kind of went in a more socialist-y direction, whereas Alex Jones went in more direct. He was very anti-police at first, and now he's just a bootlicker. He was really hardcore into being anti-police, that we live in a police state, we're going to have FEMA camps. And now he's just like the biggest, like he's actually advocating for the president who wants to put people into
Donald Trump was on was on Infowars.
And
part of his campaign in, I think, 2016.
I don't even remember it. It's been so like it's such a blur. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show that these guys don't necessarily, when they say like the Alex Jones type stuff, the police state, all that stuff, they don't necessarily think that is inherently bad on its face. They don't want Barack Obama to be doing it.
Yeah.
They don't want a black guy to do it. That's what they're really worried about. I mean, it's the same country. We've been the same country since it was born, right? Like the split in this country is still between like the North and the South. Right, that wound has never been healed. We never did like reparations for slavery, or we never like wrestled with that thing. We never we just started taking down.
We didn't execute their generals. We didn't execute their generals and silence that kind of that's running through their culture still.
Everything kind of ties back to that. It's still the same thing. And like the North has its own. You might as well call Democrats, Republicans the North and the South. The North has its own problems, and it still wasn't like. For like, if you were like a person who was enslaved back then, like running to the North doesn't mean you're like in a land of milk and honey suddenly. You know what I mean? You're in a different type of racism. But like, so it's like, it's still like there's still the core issue there. But like, that's what the country still is. And it's never healed from that. You know, we have to get rid of both of these things. But one happens to be a little more dangerous at the time. You know what I mean? But we're because of like think about like when Abraham Lincoln, like when they put an end to the Civil War, the whole thing was like, we're going to become a family again, and we're going to like negotiate our differences and stuff. Negotiating was like people who want to have slavery and breed black people like animals.
Yeah.
Like it's sick, crazy shit. And that's the person you want to negotiate with. And Joe Biden's so proud to be like right in the middle of that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole, like, we got to like toss the whole shit aside. We got to heal from this. We got to basically start over if we want to get past this stuff. That's why we're kind of like always oscillating back and forth as a people, like between who we vote for. It's like red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. The presidents always switch, right? It's because like we're trapped in this like shitty system that none of us feel good about. Maybe we can't always articulate why or fully understand why, but we rapidly oscillate back and forth because we're in a prison. It's a jail, and we're trying to find a way out, but there's no way out those two paths.
Yeah, and part of the bigger project is defunding public education so they can prevent us from knowing what happened in our history, so we cannot learn any lessons from it. It's tragic. People don't realize there was a far left vibe very much alive here. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Austin is an enclave.
And I know it's like, I think we confuse left with like social progressivism, which I think that is an important component of being left wing. We have to like realize that like all of us are on the same team. In order to do that, we have to like respect each other. So that social progressivism is like a key foundational element of it. But that's not the only thing. Like most people, like if you just talk to most people, you didn't use the buzzwords of like socialism or like left wing or whatever, and you were just like, hey, do you think rich people should control everything? They'd be like, no. Okay, congratulations, you're on the left.
Yeah.
What is right wing? The fucking slavers should be in control. What is left wing? We should have like collective control. We should like build society together. That's the big difference. It's a hierarchy of like right wing. To be right wing is a hierarchy of wealth and supported by like toxic masculinity, patriarchy, whiteness. These are the pillars of it. I'm holding up that hierarchical structure, right? Being left is a horizontal structure. We're all kind of like making these decisions together. It's our stuff. We make all the stuff. It belongs to us. It's our country. It's our culture. We created everything. Fuck those rich people. Let's just do it ourselves, right? Let's do it as a big team. And so, like, yeah, I think a lot of people like would agree with that. That's why the video that I made, Joe Biden and Donald Trump die at the same time. That's why it hits so hard, because like I think a lot of people would make that trade. If it was like, well, if Joe's my hero or Donald's my hero, but if you can take them both out with one swoop and we'll just be us left over, I think I'd take that trade. That's why I went viral. I think we all kind of like intrinsically understand and feel this thing, even if we can't articulate it. But yeah, we like if you're not a rich person, the chances that you're actually like secretly very left wing are extremely high.
You just don't know it.
You just don't know it. You're just not allowed to know it. You know, we're all like, I mean, I'm going to use the word, but I think from the time when we're born, we're pretty much like groomed to like believe that the Elon Musks of the world are actually like really powerful and like have a godlike status when they're actually nothing. They ain't shit, man. Did you think Elon Musk could actually beat a good Diablo player? I don't think so. He's just doing stolen valor, just like he did stolen valor for all the innovations the workers at his company made. Like, these guys ain't shit. It's all us.
Turtle Time's mentioning Colorado being a blue state, but there's a lot of red family members there. And yeah, Colorado has always been, it's been a working class state, but it does have these kind of, similar to Arizona, you get these libertarian, my uncle's from, my family's from Colorado. My uncle is very caught up in, you know, Facebook right-wing stuff. So I don't blame these people in as much as I blame social media. People are only as good as their environments. If people are given shitty environments, they become shitty people. So that's why, in my estimation, socialism is the goal, because if everybody gets a better environment, everybody becomes a better person, and we all live in a much better society when we don't have to see all the Trump flags driving down the street and people just being antagonistic. You know, it's like, I don't understand flaunting that kind of, I guess I do. They feel they've felt stifled by the liberals for so long. Now they got to really show us what for, but it's.
Yeah. I just want a little bit of like, it's like, maybe like, I don't know, meritocracy is a word that's often adopted by the right wing. I think I know meritocracy in this country. No, it's meritocracy of like who was born the richest. Yeah. You know, so it's whatever that's the meritocracy we have here. Like I want like an actual meritocracy would be interesting. Maybe not my ideal goal, but like I would prefer it. Like if we all had the same starting point, we all had like everyone in the country, everyone in the world had the access to like the best education, the best healthcare. We can do it. We have these resources. We're pretty, like, humans are pretty cool. We've been like working at this human project for like thousands of years now, and we've gotten really good. Like we're talking to each other across like satellites right now. We're pretty good at that shit. So we could have the best education and healthcare for everybody on planet Earth. We just like, we choose, not we, a few people choose not to. If it was up to us, we would just do it.
Speaking of bonding, Justin, we've got Turtle Time and Patrick Thomas both talking about Prince in the comment section. God. So,
should I show him?
Yes.
Should I show him?
Yes.
All right, this is for you guys.
Reveal.
I can see it.
There we go. It's not quite purple these days, but
it's like a little bit.
It looks more cyan to me, but you're the color master. Maybe in the future we can adjust your.
Yeah. We'll do a color grade on this after. So. It's actually scarred because I don't know if you can hear me well. It's actually scarred over because
prison tattoo.
Prison tattoo. Yeah. This is when I was in the clink. I asked for a Prince tattoo. I thought it would make me hard. But no, I just went to a shitty place on my 18th birthday. And the guys were just wasted, and then did my Prince tattoo. So I had to get it like colored over and after because it was just like a red scar.
Is this a Prince tattoo or the artist formerly known as Prince Tattoo when you got it?
The artist. I mean, when I got it, he was back to Prince.
Okay.
My only tattoo, by the way.
I have no tattoos because I'm weak.
Yeah, that's true. I actually went to like a Thanksgiving, like a Friendsgiving, and there was another guy there who had a Prince tattoo, and so we bonded immediately because how often you run into that. Yeah, Prince fits the topic. He was radically anti-corporate. Yeah. I mean, he donated. He donated a ton of money too. He just did it on the quiet. Like he just like all he wanted to do was lock himself in a room and make music all the time. He was kind of obsessed and kind of a weirdo in that way. Just bad at relationships and everything too. Totally like stunted emotional and behavioral development. Totally. But he had this streak of like, you know, I don't need this money. I'm just going to give it to poor kids. And he did. He gave so much away. So. I don't know.
I think he certainly had like an interesting career path because his music was pretty sexual at first, and then he kind of drifted away from that and kind of like became, I don't know,
Christian.
Christian,
really Christian. Yeah.
I heard a story about how
he does a terrible cover of "What If God Was One of Us."
Oh, he
unlistenable.
Does? Oh,
it's unlistenable. God. Yeah, I love Prince too. What's so funny about him is that.
Wait, before you continue.
Okay. Sorry.
God, What If God Was One of Us was a bad song to begin with. So.
Oh, you please find the Prince version. What if God was whatever? He does that kind of like, he has that whiny voice sometimes.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Continue with what you were saying. I just had to interrupt.
Prince is hilarious because his stuff, there's like no spectrum, right? It was like, there's not like great songs, okay songs, not so great songs. It's either like anthems that will change how music is written after that song has come out. Like, okay, there was before When Doves Cry, and then there's music after When Doves Cry, right? This at least or Purple Rain, right? He's either going to change the world with a song, or it's unlistenable garbage. There's like no in between. But what he's doing is like he's putting out, like he's basically practicing in public. He's running through ideas and just putting them on albums. And every once in a while, he finally hits on that like big one. But he's just showing you the process. Most artists, even like the stuff that we do, we don't put out everything that we work on, right? We have like a backlog of stuff that we never release.
Have you seen my channel? My channel looks like I put out everything I've ever done.
I know for a fact that you have some stuff you haven't released. And me too, because it wasn't ready or like we didn't feel like it had the message right. Prince didn't give a shit about that. He would just put it out no matter what. So he has entire albums where I'm like, listen to the album. I'm like, huh. All right, it's time to shut this off now.
So let me ask you, Diamonds and Pearls, is it listenable or unlistenable?
The album or the song? I can give you diamonds and pearls. Yeah. I think it's good. I like diamonds and pearls. It's a little soft.
I was really annoyed by it.
But
because like one of my favorite Prince songs is Erotic City. That song is like just
Erotic City, come alive.
It's so good and it's so simple.
Maybe we could make babies. We could make some time. Not so pretty, you and me. Erotic City, come alive. Oh yeah, I know.
I'm gonna remix that. So thank you for sharing.
He does. It's all his voice in that song, but he pitch shifts it in both directions. He has this like really high squeaky voice first in himself, and then he has this really low pitch shift voice. Yeah, it's cool production. Yeah. Patrick says he was way ahead of his time with what the internet was going to do with the music business. Totally, he was the publish isn't the right word, right? But like he owned his own everything. Mm-hmm. Or he owned himself, which is like very rare for anyone in the music industry at that time, or even this time.
I think he was Jehovah's Witness, as Turtle Time is saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Was he always Jehovah's Witness? I don't know.
I think it was a newer. Yeah. Larry Graham was the one that brought him in, the bass player. Well, was Larry Graham in Sly and the Family Stone? We're really getting into Justin topics now.
Isn't Larry Graham Drake's uncle? Is he the one?
Wait, no. Is that true?
Drake's uncle is like
You're just making stuff up.
I gotta check this out.
Prince is my uncle.
Prince is your uncle.
Yeah.
One of those people like Larry Graham was Drake's uncle. I gotta find out who Drake's uncle is. If it is, then I'm good with the trivia. I also wanted to say, like, I was talking about Prince and his religious sensibilities. Rhyme Sayers is a hip hop label in Minnesota with Atmosphere and Brother Ali. Apparently, like, Brother Ali met Prince and he wanted to do some work with Paisley Park or whatever, but Prince didn't want to have anything to do with him because he used swear words. So. Oh
yeah, famously, Prince was supposed to do. Michael Jackson's Bad. Do you remember the music video?
Yes.
It is. Who's the other actor in it? It's because it was supposed to. The other. Was it? Wait. Is it? I don't want to say it because I'm wrong. Hold on.
And by the way, Larry Graham is Drake's uncle. So.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not know that.
So really, the story about him starting from the bottom and now he's here, it's all bullshit.
With Larry Graham's uncle who played bass for Prince. Now I'm here, and was the Sly in the Family Stone, and now I'm here.
Exactly. Also being on Degrassi High. So.
Yeah. Come on. Okay. Okay. This is something I didn't know. Okay. Wesley Snipes, right, was in the Bad video. He's like the bad guy, or like his Prince's not Prince, Michael Jackson's opposition in the music video for Bad. It's Wesley
Also
Snipes.
Drake's uncle, by the way.
Yes.
No, he's not.
But here's something I didn't know. Are you ready for this piece of knowledge I did not know about that music video? Michael Jackson's Bad, co-starring Wesley Snipes, directed by Martin Scorsese. I did not know that. That's insane. Holy cow. I did not know that. Okay.
Well, anyway. a lot of really good directors get their start in music. Like the guy that did
David Fincher. He's a big music video director.
And who was the guy that did the movie about the concentration camps in what's the guy's name? Jonathan Glazer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He directed the Jamiroquai video. You know, the Virtual Insanity.
Virtual Insanity. I love that video. I love Jamiroquai. One of my best friends in high school. I got my Prince tattoo, and we had gone to different colleges, but at the same time on his birthday, he got the Jamiroquai, like whatever that character is, tattoo in the same spot. Okay, here's a piece of knowledge I was going to drop. So Prince was supposed to be the Wesley Snipes character in the Bad video. That was the original intent. And how crazy epic would have been, right? The two gods of pop at the time, like in a video together. Oh my God. But Prince is such a little jerk. Michael Jackson, one of the lines is, "Your butt is mine." And Prince was basically like, "No, actually my butt is my own. I'm not going to be in that video." Which, respect for like bodily autonomy, but you know, I think there was probably more to it for Prince's angle, especially as like a Jehovah's Witness leading. Prince hated MJ though. Did he say anything on record? That's so sad too, because those guys are like both like god level creatives, and it's like sad to think about like hate each other. I guess Michael Jackson was kind of a jerk too. There was some like, didn't he buy the Beatles discography?
Yeah,
and in front of Paul,
famously made it into a shoe ad for Nike.
What a jerk!
The revolution, they made it into a song. It was longer about social revolution. It was about buying a pair of Air Jordans. Oh
my son of a bitch! Yeah, I heard Paul McCartney tell the story. It was like there was actually like for the Beatles discography for some reason was coming up for sale, right? And you could auction on it. And Michael Jackson like showed up to the auction and just like outbid Paul McCartney in front of him.
I think Paul was actually the one who was telling him that buying song royalties was a good investment. And he bought Paul's song.
It's just business, Paul. You know? Oh my God, so disgusting. That's a very American capitalism story to tie it all together. What a sick joke. What a terrible thing to do. And the thing that's like that, and like probably Michael Jackson didn't even see it as a bad thing. It's just business. Yeah, and like that's a cool thing to do. You think like we conditioned everyone to think that's like a nice thing to do. That's horrifying. And they were friends too. Like they were doing music videos together and stuff. Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, they weren't doing anything good, but they were working together.
Was that the one song? What was the song? Was it? I never can remember these things. The one song that was
Michael's Monkey.
Yeah, Michael also bought the bones of the Elephant Man. You know, he was
a little weird. So a lot of Genius is a little weird though. Have you heard Michael's his demo tapes? Or
you mentioned this before that they're really good.
The most incredible thing I've ever heard. He would make his own demo tapes where he would like do like Billie Jean or something, and he would sing all the parts, yes, and sing all the harmonies himself. But he'd also do the music, like he would do beatboxing, and he made entire Billie Jean entirely from his mind and with his mouth.
Yeah,
it's really really stunning stuff. If you ever get a chance to listen to it,
I still think it's going to turn out that he was a bit of a creep. We're going to discover that someday. Michael Jackson.
Who, Michael Jackson? Yeah, I haven't heard any rumors or anything. So,
The Girl Is Mine. Was that the one with? I think that maybe that's the one with Paul McCartney in it.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Oh.
Paul McCartney, best Beatle.
Best Beatle, huh? Mm-hmm. Really?
No shade to anybody else. I think everyone has people they resonate with. And I used to hate Ringo, but now I'm like coming around on Ringo. I'm like, yeah, he just seems like a chill dude. I'm appreciating chill dudes as I get older.
Well, like
John Lennon, not chill.
Yeah,
all.
people like his legacy. It seems like the more we know about people who are attain that level of status, the more we know that they were kind of not the nicest people.
Ding dongs, real ding dongs.
Oh, somebody's requesting that Digby's not. He doesn't have the data set for Michael Jackson.
Is how's my stream doing, guys? I'm looking over it. I'm seeing it's kind of glitchy.
You were a little digitized. You're coming back a little bit now.
I wonder if it's because let me check my laptop here and see if it's burning up. I might need to put the ice pack on it.
All right.
Oh, who's this?
This is Squatch Burke. Oh, he's gonna totally destroy my setup here. So
wow, he makes that microphone look small.
Yeah. So
watch out! Watch the mic! Watch the mic stand.
So, and you can see my bad cropping here. I need to perfect the setup a little bit. It's like those old movies.
I think it's funnier that it's not perfect.
Yeah, but I spent so much time. I bought this expensive. Whoop! I gotta move my finger back here. See, look at it spin. Isn't that cool?
What is that? The little UFO thing?
I don't know. It's something that I purchased to have on this really cool set. I spent a lot of time thinking about how to design the set. Oh, he's ruining my green screen even back there. A lot of thought into like this chair here, like the $100 chair that you buy on AliExpress.
Only $100. That's a steal.
That's when I was actually there was a moment where I was thinking about building the set from scratch, buying all the stuff and really doing it.
I'm so glad you didn't. I'm so thrilled that you did not do that. I'm proud of you for not doing it.
The funniest thing is that the chairs he sits in are like the shittiest gaming chairs you could buy. Like, and if you're a person who sits a lot, you go for the Herman Miller, you go for like a,
Herman Miller.
Miller. You got the Tech Bro chair, the Aeron.
Listen, it ain't bad, and it was cheap. I got it on deal.
Really,
and it's a tax write off for me as a freelancer in California. You just write off everything.
I found an
I wrote off my Netflix, brother.
Really,
I write off my Netflix.
I found an Aeron at Goodwill for $25 once, which was
get it?
Yeah, I bought it. I'm a chair connoisseur, so I tried them all.
Yeah.
So, Patrick Thomas saying the one Peter Jackson did.
Is there a music video?
Really.
Peter Jackson. Meet the Feebles. What is this? Patrick, we got to get you on the show so you can tell us.
Yeah, you can. We've got spots here for people to call in and talk to us. Total Time too. And whoever wants to talk, the chat is fun too. If you don't want to do it, but
I caught your last stream. You had a great call in, like really. Tomcat was great. I hope he comes back. But
I talked to him. I told him that he needs to be a regular guest because we need more international flair.
He was really thoughtful and I don't know. There's a whole. We don't have to go on this big tangent because I think if you watch the previous Terminal Mode live, but there was a segment, probably like 5-10 minutes, right in the middle, around the hour mark, where you guys talk about Palestine, and you talk about like the how people are processing it here in America and like the things that people are going through. Just bearing witness to what's happening and like how that affects us. And I think you guys had you talked about the different factions and like talked about like how words like Zionism mean different things to different people. So people can't have a really hard time communicating with each other. And I don't know, it was one of the most thoughtful explorations of like what we're all kind of like going through right now on this side of the conflict. That I haven't heard anybody else do before. And I just want to give you a shout out. I felt like I love that. You said something that really struck with me. It's like there's a lot of folks that that are witnessing what's happening on their phones, right? They've been watching like just horror on their phones for a year, and you kind of identified something I hadn't really thought about too much before. But it's like we're getting like a lot of people are getting like PTSD from watching that kind of stuff.
I think I got this from you. I got this from talking to you. I mean, you're the one.
I think you identified
led me to this conclusion, and also interacting with people online. And there's just no room for like any sort of nuance. So if you have this PTSD, you're just not going to react normally to everyday events. You just don't have that capability. So
yeah, but I just want to say like, great job and thank you. And then Tom was a big part of that, and Panther is a big part of that. All three of you together, there was such a magic in that conversation, and like that was the moment when I was watching that stream. I was like, oh my god, this is a thing. You guys got to keep going. You got to keep doing this because you really tapped into something. At least for me. Maybe you just made the perfect stream for me. I don't know.
I think I did. I think I really did. I think you loved it because you're a good friend, and I'm like a lot of what I do is to people in my own circle. This whole week I wanted to get back on because there was somebody who left a comment about how I was a bad person because I voted for Kamala, and I wanted to address that from more of my background of philosophy and ethics and whatnot. But it doesn't really work in this format because nobody else wants to hear me talk about these details. But I wanted to make a video about it because I think it's important to understand where people's morality does come from. So like when you see the genocide and you're telling everybody that this is a reason, anybody complicit in it, you don't vote for them no matter what, just because it's so horrific. But where does that morality come from? If you don't believe in God, like I'm a secular person, how do I do the moral calculus to understand the degrees to which somebody is a bad person or a genocider? And I think a lot of people on social media, they get to that point. They just get the PTSD, and they find other people who have PTSD. So they have like kind of a support group, and they're all just telling everybody else, you got to stop this. And they're right. It's got to be stopped. But the way to do it isn't necessarily to harass people. It's to forge alliances with people and build bridges that we can try to end it. Just sending people pictures of dead babies isn't gonna solve it, because that's what Christians have been doing with abortion for the longest time. It's the same tactic. So anyways, let's not talk about that heady topic.
Go listen if you're interested in that topic. If you're interested in that, go check out I think it's around the hour mark. I actually wrote it down. I like this so much. Around the 1 hour mark, you'll get a really good very thoughtful conversation. So check that out.
I love you being so kind about that, because I'm so insecure about getting online.
I love you too.
and doing this, but I feel like I'd like other people to not feel so isolated and have conversations that make people feel like there are places for kind of nuanced perspectives. And I think part of the problem also is that we're getting to the situation where people like Panther, it's hard for women these days to get on the internet and do anything because they're just constantly harassed. And with Elon Musk and Trump and this push towards, against wokeness and against, feminism, it's going to be even harder for these people to express their views. But I want to bring her on more often, but I feel goofy just being like, oh, you got to do this. I don't do it to you either. I don't pressure you. I don't like to pressure people, but on the same thing, I don't like to go and talk about myself or just talk about things like I'm an expert. I feel like interaction with other people is most important. So.
You know how you relieve that like awkward, guilty feeling of getting people involved and inviting them on, and because I'm sure you feel like you're exploiting their time or something, or like. Yeah. The way that you can help alleviate that is if you're watching this and you really like this content, go subscribe to Terminal Mode's Patreon so you can pay people to be on the show.
Okay. Pay to have guests. Yeah, I feel unseemly promoting the Patreon too.
He's going to Venmo me $4 if you go sign up now.
Pants is actually one of the few Patreons that I do have. So, and I'm like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't, But
I gotta sign up for your Patreon because I gotta send your bucks back because you're sending me a couple of bucks on Patreon. I gotta send them back to you.
I don't have the value tier like you do. I went all in on just making it either $2 or $100, and you're the worst person ever. So.
Yeah, Elon Musk tier.
Yeah. So
that's what chat up to.
There was one other thing I wanted to say about that. I do think that we need more international input from somebody like Tom. Like he's not so tangled up in the brain rot that is the American project. And
we're all trapped here.
We need more voices of women. Like historically, when we've done this, it's just been me, you, and other white dudes. We need to have, some more international perspective, which is a big project.
And less white duty.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily a bad thing to have like a handful of less crazy white dudes out there trying to be somewhat decent people. Because if we're going to speak to anybody, it's like more like on average, it's more likely going to be other white dudes that are in our similar, like that vibe with us, that are age similar to us, that are probably similar socioeconomic status than us. And like, I was thinking about this a lot. Like, I'm a homeowner. Let me rephrase that. My wife's a homeowner and I pay her rent.
I'm in the same exact boat.
Yeah. But if part of the demographic is other like white homeowners, there's no group that's like more ready to be radicalized to the right wing than those guys. So like having a couple of voices out there that like can talk about these kind of things and have the similar experiences, but are not like slowly becoming psychopaths by having like by being a white dude, one, and then two, the place where you live is like an economic investment, which like that conflict can like drive you crazy over time. Having a couple of guys that are like a little more sane in that department and like kind of an anchor, I think is a good thing. So I'm happy to do this because I think that we need to speak to all demos, and like some of these projects have to be like, and maybe we're getting too heady with this podcast now, this stream now, but like, people got to be de-radicalized a bit. And I think that, if we can play a very small role in that.
I am a white dude.
And you're a homeowner, but it's a very small, like tiny home, right? At least that's the mythology.
I am good at Diablo and Elden Ring.
It sounds really lifelike. It sounds more lifelike in the real thing.
I'm surprised the voice is. I'm still allowed to use this. I cloned a voice that is not identified for some reason, because you can't clone him anymore. So you can't clone anybody anymore. You're not supposed to share the trick.
I'll share it with you, but I got the trick. Turtle says viewers can call into the show. Yeah, you can call in. Yeah,
or we'll just chat interaction's fine too. We don't want to pressure anybody to do something that they don't want to do.
Turtle says she's possibly the only woman watching.
Probably.
Did you say people can call in? Yeah, you can call in. You guys seem very decent. Oh, thank you. I'm trying. It's all work. We could try to we have we are the poison. A couple of straight white guys. we are the poison. So we're trying. It's an effort. It's not like, we're not born this way.
I like women.
Congratulations, Elon.
Panther told me that if I was going to do this Elon thing, or I was thinking of just cloning other voices, like having some of these other goofballs on and doing something similar. She's like, "Oh, you gotta animate his lips, or this isn't going to work." I'm like, oh, just make it even more difficult for me.
That's right. Digby's not a white guy.
Digby is not.
Digby gets the pass. He's just voiced by a white guy.
So,
oh my God! Yeah, call in, Turtle.
Here, if anybody, I'll give the link here in a second. Let me get rid of Elon here. All right, so maybe I should hide Digby too. He's not saying anything.
Yeah, Digby's been taking up so much space at the whole show. Hey, he's cute, but he ain't that cute.
The problem is that I can't. If I'm here, I got to switch the scenes. I got just too much of a complicated setup. It's hard to produce the show and be the guy talking.
You know what I'm really looking forward to? When we can figure out, and by we, I mean you, when we can figure out how to make it look like we're all in the same scene together.
All you got to do is put a green screen, and then I can do it for you.
Ooh. Subscribe to Terminal Mo's Patreon so you can buy me a green screen.
I was going to buy you a green screen anyways.
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
We started off the video talking about your fart videos. And
do we really want to go back?
Yes, I want to cycle back and bring this conversation back around.
This is like anytime I put a fart in a video, it's the most embarrassing. Like, I'm so not proud of it, but it did make me laugh. So I feel like part of like my process is I have to make myself laugh or make myself feel something. And if I laugh, I know it's a good sign, so I have to put it in. But I'm so not proud of any of the farts.
Yeah, I'm like fart jokes are like I consider them beneath me, like totally. But because you're doing
literally.
Yeah,
you're sitting down.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, I got to do these fart jokes, and then the more the people hate them, I'm like, I got to do more fart jokes.
I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The Trump people, he had that really serious song about being a fighter, and I changed the lyrics to be a farter. And they hate it so much. And I don't think it was great what I did. It was more me just practicing, trying to change words and whatnot. Yeah. But the more they hate it, the more I want to make more fart videos about Donald Trump.
Because you're a troll. You're a troll at heart.
Oh, I totally am.
Internet troll.
It's obvious. So.
You thread an amazing needle. If you're here as a terminal mode fan, you probably know this video. But if you're not, go check it out after the stream. You threaded a real needle with a fart joke, and that's the Kid Rock a kid fart video. Because he made a fart joke video with no farts in it, and I think that it was so genius because here's the thing that I realized in that video, the word fart is 1,000 times funnier than the actual action of it. Like just that word is more comedy to it than the actual action. So you making a video that just included the word but not the action, I think it was a genius needle thread, and I'm really proud of you for that one.
Well, thank you.
As silly as it is, I think you're a comedic genius for that.
Yeah, I'd like have a whole theory of humor about how the more context that's required, the more genius the joke is, and the less context. And fart jokes require like no context or whatever. So you can just make a fart joke and it's funny. So, but I'm such a lazy.
Timing is very important
for the fart joke.
Yeah, timing is ultra.
Yeah, your timing on your fart jokes. Impeccable. The way that you can just see, like I noticed that as the person sits down on the cushion, and you can actually, it's like you feel the warmth, and you can see it
emotionally. The emotional warmth. This conversation is going on. Watching the viewer count just drop.
No, we've had like a steady 9 to 10, which is kind of what we were getting on your channel. So,
well, I mean, I like that size. It's just like friends hanging out.
Yeah,
and that's when the chat is active and it's like pretty tight like that. Like we Terminal Mode and I have been like experimenting with this streaming stuff for a little while now, and like part of the goal of what we're trying to do is just like have a chill hangout like at the end of the day, where everyone can kind of decompress and talk about whatever they want to talk about. And when it's a tight group like this, it feels like we're all on the porch together hanging out. And so like that's something I'm trying to recreate from my childhood. I grew up doing that kind of thing, like after the family barbecue, everyone's like half drunk or maybe full on drunk. It's right before bed, like that last hour, and everyone's just sitting on the porch and just shooting the shit and kind of like talking about whatever they're going to talk about. Sometimes it's really serious, sometimes it's light, but just kind of comes out. It's a decompression, right? So having a group like this where we can do that is just, I don't know, it feels really nice to kind of recreate that.
Well, and it's nice that we're not having the kind of technical glitches that we've had in the past, and
we only had a couple minutes of tech in the beginning this time.
We've also liberated ourselves from, having somebody get a middleman who's in our stream extracting money from us, even though we don't make any money on these streams or our videos. Somebody wants to profit from it.
We made $1 last time, right?
Oh,
one of our guests gave us $1. Zergling gave us $1.
It always feels different when your friend pays you than it does the business owner, right? And then the business owner took a cut of that money too, didn't they? Take
we only got like 60 cents or whatever.
And
Turtle says she's a little too chicken right now, but that's fine. I did not light farts on fire. I saw a lot of videos of. I watched a lot of movies where people did that kind of thing.
That's actually in my farter video. Was the scene from Dumb and Dumber where he lights his fart on fire?
Really?
Yeah, it's in there.
I really think we've talked about this for a year now, because I've known you about a year, right? Maybe longer.
A little bit longer than close. I think we've been close friends for about a year.
Yeah. We've talked about doing like behind the scenes content for our videos every time we've spoken, basically. And just never really. We do it sometimes on the stream a bit, but like I feel like that would really. I think I feel guilty because like the videos are so short. Who wants to hear me talk about it for 20 minutes, a 1 minute video? But I think there's a lot of stuff in there. Especially if you have like a creative background or an editor, or you like comedy, or you're like a real politics nerd. I mean, I guess it's a pretty big overlap of people that could be interested in something like that. But a little director's commentary could be kind of cool.
Yeah,
breakdowns.
When we first started talking, I said that we should just go through your videos and talk about, where you were at that point in time and what was going on. I like personal stuff more than I like just celebrity gossip or,
Yeah. And I feel like all of our stuff is a little bit autobiographical. I mean, it's all whatever, like, because both you and I have a similar process where we like something hits us on the timeline that drives us insane. And then like we're trying to exercise the demon in some way by creating some kind of like alt reality with that content that kind of washes it away from infecting our minds. It's kind of a disinfectant for our brains to make these videos.
Yeah. A Human, who is on, I think, both of our Discord servers and is a wonderfully kind person.
What's up, A Human?
Says that was wonderfully wholesome. And if anybody else wants to join our
farting?
Discord, no, I think the Turtle Time and all the conversations, the wholesome conversation we've been having. We're not talking about.
Nice.
Yeah. But anybody who wants to join the Discord, we could share those links, and it's a hangout for people. It is a kind of a, for some of the older like me, I'd only been on Discord for like 6 years or so, but lots of people have been on it for a long time. And it is where a lot of the younger generation goes to find community and whatnot. So that's open for anybody who wants to join. I wanted to say, the interesting Turtle Time is asking how we met, which is which is a fun. There's some funny elements to this story because
you tell him.
I never saw Justin's big video. He has got a big Trump video that got millions of views. I didn't see that video, so Justin wasn't on my radar. But he made a video in which Bernie Sanders is replacing Joe Rogan, and he's interviewing Elon Musk. And Justin kind of went viral with this video, and it hit a lot of Reddit communities. And I saw the video and I was like, oh my God, because Justin was doing kind of the same thing that I was doing, where I'm editing people and trying to make them look goofy. Yeah. But Justin is far more professional because Justin's in the business, and everybody loved this video. Justin's Bernie Sanders experience is like, is it among one of your best? Do you think it's one of your favorites or your favorite? Or is
it? First of all, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's definitely up there. Like that's like technically it's one of my favorite technical accomplishments, yes. But also like storytelling accomplishments. Like they both had like, I think Elon's interview was 2 hours and Bernie's interview was an hour, and like the process of breaking that down to like a month and to like figure out, there's so many narrative paths you could go down. But I managed to find all the ones that just flow fairly seamlessly. And I'm really proud of that one from a technical standpoint and a creative standpoint. So yes, I think it's one of my.
So this video,
a tier list would be up there on the tier.
Yeah. So this video fell on my radar because he was kind of doing this thing. Only he was doing it on a grander scale and like probably one of the best edits that there is of this type on YouTube. And I just kind of started tagging along with Justin because I've been making videos for a long time. And I always like, if I find a community, I'll do like fan art or whatever and make my own little video for that art. And Justin was like the first person to kind of ever, he's super busy. Justin is a busy guy and he's spread very thin, but eventually I fell on I got his attention and I asked him to do an interview. he was interviewed by Digby, and I still have this thing, but because it was our first get together, it was very awkward.
Such a weird way to like intro. Because I think we had we had talked a little bit before that, but then we're gonna have this big interview. I'm expecting you, and Digby shows up, and I'm not an actor or like improviser, so I'm like, what? What's this robot? But you should release that anyway.
Yeah, we should go through it.
Just make it. There's probably some funny stuff in there.
Yeah,
it's just me being awkward. That's funny.
I think it was like you've done interviews with serious people, and so to have Digby show up, and you're like, oh shit, what is this? You have to like you were being punked or something.
I'm a very like. Well, the thing is, for me, I'm like a very like. I'm not great on like phone conversations as much either because I need like that. I need. I'm an emote reader. Like I need to see you. And I just see like your physical behavior, and I got to get your inclination, and like I'm not that great. I type in text a lot, but like I'm not the same person I am speaking. Like you could say like the Discord me or the Twitter me is much different than like the streaming me. But because I need that human interaction. And as much as I love Digby and as handsome as Digby is, there's not a lot of like deep emote for me to read.
Yeah, and
if we keep practicing, that would be a fun. That would be a fun.
And
at
least like Turtle Time mentioned being too bashful or whatever to appear on stream. That's kind of like where Justin and I have been for the past year. We've been working on a project of trying to be the face of what we create rather than trying to speak solely through our videos. And so our live stream is not necessarily because we think that we've got anything magical to say to tell people. It's just practice for us in part, but also because we like community building. Both of us are into that sort of thing. So Digby does belong on Mystery Science Theater. He's from that.
Totally inspired by. He's so good. So Digby's hand built.
That's amazing. I built myself.
The first time, Digby, the first time that I met you, I was so stunned by how well you're designed. Like you felt like I'd already seen you before because the design is that good. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, that's immediately a star.
That's me, superstar.
Yeah, and what's that? The little dial on your heart, in your heart area. What does that do? It's going back and forth.
That's part of my central nervous system. Leads to my positronic brain up top. Do you see that?
Oh, I see the blinking one. The blinking, the only brain. Yeah. Are you AI, Digby?
100%.
Wow. And did you train your own model? How did you train your own model?
Just recursive slop. Just you read the slop, you create the slop, and then you read the slop back in.
Mm-hmm. And you build your model off the slop that you've
100% slop.
Cool.
There was talk about robot overlords. What are your thoughts?
Robot overlords? It would depend on the overlord. I mean, I guess I don't want an overlord, but like I could imagine an AI that is just like ambivalent, coming to better conclusions than humans. Being like, okay, climate change will kill all humans. Maybe we shouldn't allow that to happen. But I could also imagine an AI developed by anybody that is in charge of AI right now being a nightmare.
That's actually the premise of a Philip K. Dick novel or a short story about an AI protecting humanity from destroying itself.
Which one? Do you remember the name of it?
It's like got a one-word name, like the Protectors or the Defenders or something like that. But if you look at Philip K. Dick, it's one of his first short stories, I believe.
Philip K. Dick also did We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, the short story that was Total Recall was based on.
Yep. And Do Androids Dream of an Electric Sheep?
Yep. And was he Man in the High Castle too?
I believe so.
God, too good. Nobody should be allowed to be that good.
Also, Scanner Darkly.
With Alex Jones. See, the conversation is coming full circle. Alex Jones in a Scanner Darkly.
And there was also a movie called, I think it's called Android with Gary Sinise, where he's got a bomb built into his chest.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a movie.
Yeah. Gary Sinise, maybe best movie of Mice and Men.
Oh, that movie's good. John Malkovich is in it, right?
Yeah, with John Malkovich.
I love that story.
Yeah, it's so good. I read that in like 8th grade.
I've killed a lot of puppies in my life.
Yeah, I know you have. What?
No, I've had nightmares about people killing puppies.
I get that. Patrick says, yes, High Castle. By the way, Man in the High Castle, big inspiration for my channel. There's a few things that I watched and loved and ingested, and one of them is Man in the High Castle, The others are like Quantum Leap, Sliders, Back to the Future, just anything where you're like you're receiving dispatches from an alternate timeline. I'm really into it.
Did you see that Elon Musk tweeted out that he not only dreams of electric sheep, but he builds them?
What? No, I missed that.
He tweeted out that he dreams of electric sheep, which is what androids do. Right? I mean, he's so dumb.
Does he just like hear things within like scientific or technology, literary community, or just culture in general, and just doesn't look into it at all and just repeats stuff that what he thinks it means? That's what I get. That's the sense
I think that's right. He like touches the veneer of everything, but never gets to the surface or like, to the core of it.
He's a top Diablo player, right? I think that he's probably played Diablo 15 minutes in his whole life, right? I think
he just bought all the loot.
Yeah, I think he bought the loot. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. This is an interesting question. Patrick had asked, was it Patrick? Let's see where I just lost. Hold on. Patrick asked Turtle Time if they lost any voice work to AI, and Turtle Time had said not yet. So thankfully, no. But yeah, that's something that I'm thinking about a lot. Oh, the kitty's back. Hi, sweetie. That microphone. Watch out. Watch out. Watch the microphone. Watch the mic stand.
That's an expensive $400 mic. Don't do that.
Yeah. Whoa. I know you're much bigger than the microphone and the stand, but yeah, that's something I'm a little bit worried about. I haven't lost anything to AI yet. I've lost things to the industry collapsing. That's what I've lost. Like I was in like PR departments a lot. So like say if there's like a TV show or something and it needs like some social media promos, I would be making those a lot, and that has totally been like wiped out. Like we were some of the first the constriction of Hollywood that's happening right now. That was one of the first like segments of the industry to like just like that budget's easy to cut. So I lost a lot of work for that, but I think a lot of people are gonna lose work to AI very soon. I'm surprised like there hasn't been more voice work. I saw that. Did you see the Coca-Cola ad? That
I saw
was done by AI.
I didn't.
It was like a contest. It was like 5 or something different, or maybe more, but like everyone submitted their own versions of a fully AI Coke ad, Coca-Cola, and they picked one to be the winner. But it was an official ad from Coca-Cola. Like that's a big client to be using AI. They didn't pay anybody anything. I mean, they paid for whoever made it. They probably paid their day rate. You know, they paid them $100. You know, probably paid him for a week's worth of work, right? But the rest, I saw some. I've been job searching a lot recently because, like I said, I lost a lot of work, and I see a lot more stuff like advertising for AI. People who know how to use AI in my industry. So like, there's like one of the folks are going to lose AI. Yes, voice actors are going to lose to AI. I mean, we already use AI voices in our work. I can't imagine they'd want to hire anybody for voiceover work as soon as they have AI at their fingertips. It's like good enough, especially for like movie trailer voices and things like that. You know, characters might be different, but like movie trailers and stuff, I think those folks are going to lose a lot of work. But I saw advertisements for like background and plate artists, but using AI. So like a lot of times in like video games and movies, you have like a background, like the actors are like the camera only captured like this much, but there's an entire background that's all green screened, right? Like some mountains and shit that somebody like painted in there, either a special effects artist or an actual like digital painter built the background, or maybe a photographer or something. They just want to do all that stuff with AI now. So that's like an entire like background artists. That's a big part of both movies and games. And that's looking like it's going to get deleted pretty quick with AI, which is a real bummer. That's a lot of people.
One thing that's super interesting about this current state, like 11 Labs is one of the premium services for cloning voices, and they're pretty much making it so you can't clone the people in power. You can't clone, or the very notable people. You can't clone Donald Trump. You can't clone any of these people anymore, but you can clone your next door neighbor. So if you want to commit like some kind of fraud, you can commit it using the technology, but they don't want to let us have any power to use it to mock the people in power. So
Yeah. So yeah, 11 like terminal mode and I are are the people we like to use the most are like guys like Elon Musk with AI voices, because we can make them say whatever the fuck we want. We take a little power back from them that way. But they actually blocked us. Like, you can use anybody anymore. My Elon Musks are gone. Even my Jordan Peterson is gone. Who else is gone? Biden's gone. Trump's gone. Yeah, same.
Yep. So. Thomas Russell, Jordan Peterson voice. I haven't tried Jordan in a while, or like I wonder about Jordan and Tim Pool. So
Tim Pool might not be restricted.
Yeah,
He's not.
I don't know,
He's
but
not
I mean,
quite. He's quite at the level. It's so shitty that they just protect rich people and we can't. They can only. You can. What's the point of 11 Labs then?
Yeah.
Like 11 Labs is an AI voice cloner. And you can make it say whatever you want. Like you watch either of our channels, you're going to see 11 Labs voices. But if they block all the famous people, rich people, then what's the point of that service? It's only to clone normal people and like utilize their voice for like shitty reasons. Either steal their labor or to scam them. There's only two options. What else is there?
Yeah.
Maybe maybe their pitch is, you clone your own voice and you can do your own voiceovers. Why wouldn't I just talk into the microphone like I'm doing now? What are you talking about, clone my own voice? Why would I just hand my voice over to this company to mine? You flipping around the camera is making me seasick.
Sorry. I just wanted to put the cat on camera because I know that'll get.
He's cute.
That'll be.
I'm like spinning right now.
Terminal mode does Tim Pool voices.
He does. He's one of the best. Thomas, you must have watched Civois 2. That's the best. That's one of my favorite terminal cuts. Oh my god. I like old school terminal mode. I really like the fudge rounds. Fudge rounds for nothing is one of my favorite terminal mode videos. Classic. But Civois is such a masterpiece. He showed us Civois actually in our Discord before it was released. And full disclosure, I did have an edible like an hour before that. But when he played Civois, you were there. I mean, I was crying laughing. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack.
and Thomas Russell, you missed it earlier. Justin was heaping praise on you for your conversation last week about
this is Tomcat.
This is Tomcat.
Tom, yes. Let me give you a quick rundown. Brother, that segment that you did with Terminal and Pantha, that was one of the most powerful segments I've heard on Palestine and Israel and how we're kind of dealing with it outside of those two countries, like how we're dealing with here in America and where you are, and how how there's so much confusion between what these words mean and how people are like, Terminal Mode had mentioned like people that are watching this stuff we're watching this horror on our phones every day and like getting PTSD from it. That whole conversation was just, I feel like it was like tailor made to like affect me. And I want to heap praise on you and say, you were really thoughtful and what you were talking about was really powerful. Yeah, that was the moment when I was watching that stream. I was like, oh, you guys have to do this as an official show. Like this is a show. It's not just a live stream hangout with buds, which it is. But like that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is just as impactful as like any big show that I've seen. And it was one of the most thoughtful kind of breakdowns of that entire conflict from the outsider perspective that we all have. I don't know. It was just really, really nice and heartfelt and beautiful. So just want to say thank you for that. That was really, really cool.
Awesome. I'm glad he got to be here for that because
I feel like a little starstruck after that. Oh, Tom. Oh, this is Tom Good. This is Tom Good.
I was like thinking like last week, you're like, oh, that was so good. I was like, oh man, Justin's trying to get out of being the co-host of this show with me.
You couldn't keep me away.
Bobby is so good and Tomcat is so good. And I was like, oh, poor Justin. What am I going to have to do to lure him back in?
Patrick, you got to check out that previous live stream around the 1 hour mark. It's just, you couldn't recreate it in text. It's just really thoughtful and beautiful. And really like from a very human perspective.
My cat's standing in front of the chat, so I can see it. I'm driving for work soon. No, thank you for participating. You know, we're not doing this to try to generate a profit or create a brand. We're just doing it to try to build community and talk to people and hang out. So it's awesome.
And get rich.
It's
famous.
Rich. Yeah, we're so it's wonderful to have people engaged and talking to us.
I just want to get rich enough so I can buy other people's innovative ideas and claim them as my own, and then exploit their labor so I never have to work and I can just play Diablo. Oh, here we go. Speaking of.
I like women.
I hate this guy so much.
You got to keep talking to him so it doesn't seem so. You got to just kind of.
But I don't. But if you consider that I don't want to talk to him, that seeing his face makes me feel physically ill.
I am an innovator.
Masturbator? What'd you say?
I had
a masturbator.
Yeah, it's
this guy. Every time I see this guy's face, every time I hear him speak, now that I'm a dad, the first thing I think about every single time I even think about this person is he's got like what 25, 26 kids, whatever. He's got so many kids, right?
I want to impregnate Taylor Swift. I will protect your cats.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Please
that was
stop.
Shoot, he's out of here.
Elon, get out of here. Anyway, that was
bad. I'm sorry about that, everyone.
Only health insurance CEOs, huh? Anyway, every time I see that guy, I just think about how he has so many kids, but he has never been a dad a day in his life.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big difference between being a father and being a dad. And just because you can like pay people to like do artificial insemination, like doesn't mean that you're a dad, right?
Isn't like every single one of his kids from artificial insemination? The guy that's talking about he's espousing all these right-wing views about manhood, and he hasn't been able to. Yeah. Not that I would criticize people for that normally, but when you're a guy like that, you deserve to be criticized for everything. It opens the door for all sorts of criticism for him.
It is, and I will say it is a tad weird to have like 38 kids and be a virgin. I will say that's a little bit strange.
He certainly acts like one, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had baby X on his shoulders today at the Capitol. Oh my God, I feel bad for those kids. You know, it was a great follow on social. If you're a social media addict, like I'm sure we all are here, follow Elon Musk's eldest daughter on. I think she's on Blue Sky. I think she's on Threads. I'm blanking on her name right now. She's also like a billionaire. Forgive me. I don't have that much love, but all she does, her entire social media presence is basically just saying "fuck you" to Elon Musk and "I hate you" because he's been such a terrible father to her, and basically disowned her for being trans, and made it his like life's mission to like personally insult her every single day. Yeah, fuck him and follow her.
What would you do if the woke mind virus killed your child, Justin? You'd react similarly, don't you think?
I'd have to be an insane person to believe that's what happened. He's an insane weirdo. I wonder
what I think I saw the interview with Elon Musk where he said this. It was with Jordan Peterson. I think he said that Jordan Peterson.
I was recutting it. I have a clip from that show that we played on stream before.
Yeah, I remember.
I wish I could pull it up. Do I have it somewhere?
We're actually set up to. I set the stream up so you can share a screen. You can do whatever you want.
Can I share it?
Yeah.
Do I have it though anywhere? Let's see if I have it. Wait. Okay. Wait. Here's what we're gonna do. We can share screens, right?
Yeah.
How do I do it? Oh, I have to share. How do I do it? Uh-oh. We're gonna do a test. I can only do a tab. But wait, can I do I can share a window.
Yeah, and you can share your sound for your window.
But I have too much weird stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to try
weird stuff.
It's not safe for work. It's just like too cluttered.
Yeah, it's always embarrassing. Like, I'm afraid to show my timelines when I'm editing because I'm so chaotic and it's just a big blob of garbage with stuff up here and stuff over here. And
Yeah.
your desktop is shameful. Is your partner really organized? Like my partner's super organized. So when she sees my desktop, she's like,
Yeah.
"You're a crazy person." She's like, "That's not the way to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
desktop."
My wife is maybe the most, what's the word? I don't know if there's a word for it. So she's really proficient with time. She's the most like if she has a list of 48 things to do in a day, she'll hit every single one of them exactly on time. She's really good at time management, and I don't know how time works. I have the opposite. I think sometimes people find opposites, like we fill each other's voids, which probably what makes a good marriage.
The best option, because if you don't have a complementary skill set, you're not as operating at peak.
Yeah, so I think maybe together we make a pretty good composite person. But like she's like the queen of time, and like I literally, like, because of ADHD, I don't know how it like functions. I don't know, like you say, like you give me a handful of tasks to do in a day, I have no idea how to even calculate how much time it's going to take. I don't know when I'm editing. I don't know how long tasks take. They just get done or they don't. Yeah. So yeah, she doesn't like my my desktop is just littered with screenshots and weird, like, unorganized files and broken stuff.
All right. So who was you mentioned Elon Musk's daughter. What's her name?
I think it starts with a V.
Vivian.
Is that right, Patrick? Patrick knows. Patrick follows Vivian. It's not, last name is definitely not Musk. She must have taken the mother's name or has her own name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Vivian. Yeah, Vivian.
Vivian is the one you mentioned. You briefly mentioned her in an Elon Musk video that you did, right? Was that the one that?
She's
the eldest daughter, right, from the first marriage?
Oh yeah.
We only know this because of Terminal did a really hilarious video about it.
Justine was his first wife, and that was when he bought the $1 million McLaren. Yeah, I'm pretty sure A Humans has ADD for the win. I'm pretty sure that pretty much anybody in our circles has ADD or ADHD.
Yeah, we found like our platform. If you can watch our videos and guess that we have ADHD, then you're you probably have it too.
You can tell by my videos that it's compounded by OCD, because once I get on a topic, there's like going to be just the next topic, and people are like, "Oh, that's an old topic. That happened like last year," and I'm still doing 12 more videos on that topic that is dead.
You got a year's worth of Fudge Round videos.
Yeah,
Oliver Anthony.
Well, we've been going for a long time, Justin. I don't know if you want to continue on, if you have anything else to share. I'm available for as long as possible, but I don't want to keep it. I always feel I'm so grateful to people for showing up and listening to us rant and participating and adding to the conversation that I don't ever want to overstay my welcome. Patrick Thomas talking about Musk building a literal glass house out here. He got in trouble for building a bunch of glass to one of his companies. Yeah.
Oh my God. Isn't there a saying about glass houses, Patrick?
There might be. If not, we should come up with one.
Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick says it's just too perfect. So
if you can read between the lines, what do they say about glass houses?
He made it. It's just too perfect. So yeah. So thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks. I think let's call it. It's going to be 10 o'clock p.m. for me soon. So let's call it at 10 p.m. So we got 4 more minutes.
We've been going on for a long time, haven't we?
It's been like through 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Only a half hour of tech in the beginning. Not bad for us.
Yeah. So.
Yes, Patrick. It's just a funny metaphor. A thing that doesn't happen in real life ever. Even for people that live 10 minutes away. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, Patrick, you're going to have to come on stream next week or whenever we do this again and talk to us more about Elon Musk. You seem pretty tapped into these things, so
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to have you on in whatever iteration you want to have. We can still interact with chat, but if you want to come on, we got slots for people. Digby will be heartbroken that his position as the third co-host here will be taken, but he'll live.
It's good that we do a little Digby training every time. That way, Digby gets more comfortable and I get more comfortable.
Yeah. Patrick says he wants to come in. And Patrick mentioned earlier wanting to do some streaming about the Manosphere content, which is, I think, going to be more and more problematic in the future. So that'd be a good topic to hit.
And really, you are like the left Joe Rogan.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. The liberals are on a hunt for the left Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, okay.
Some people try to say it's Hassan Piker, but I'm saying it's Terminal.
Everybody
Mode.
was saying it was Stavi. They were saying
yes. Listen, Stavi is great. I've been watching Stavi Solves Your Problems since like it was just like a green screen show in his like home office or his bedroom or whatever during COVID. I love that show.
Yeah, we're set up to share whatever you want, Patrick. So you're
not the left Joe Rogan. You're the left Tim Pool.
Who's that?
No idea.
Not familiar with the guy.
Thank you for watching Termcast on YouTube.
Termcast IRL. We'll be back next week.
IRL. Yeah,
or maybe sooner.
Yeah, let's see. Thanks everybody for coming. I mean, I'm the ones. You're the host here. Why am I saying the goodbyes?
You're the host too. You're set
We're
up
all
as
the host.
Yes, everybody's a host. So yeah, and A-Human, you should join us anytime too.
Yeah, next time come back in, we can, Terminal Mode takes calls. We had a great call with Tomcat last time. Can't recommend that episode enough. Call in, say hi. You can do video or you can just do a call.
And we love Turtle Time. Turtle Time has one of the best YouTube handles on. My mom is a turtle aficionado. She loves turtles. She's building a burrow in her backyard so she can keep an endangered. Wow. She's building a burrow in her backyard so she can keep an endangered desert tortoise that has hepatitis from infecting the population.
And a stutter.
Yeah, we probably should try to shoot for something. I'm trying to do something more regular, but I'm also trying to be, I want Justin to be involved, but he's, a new dad and I don't want to pressure him.
Terminal Mode has a terminal issue where he's like overly considerate and super concerned at all moments that he's like inconveniencing other people. And I love you for it, buddy, but stop it. You stop it.
I hate the idea that I'm pressuring somebody into doing something and then I'm
we're here. Everyone's here because they want to, especially me. I love this. I love doing this with you. I love you. I'm so glad. We're going to be genuine for a moment. I'm so glad that like we found each other through our art and collaborated and connected. The first video we did together was horny Jordan Peterson watching animal sex videos and dancing. If you haven't seen that, check out my channel. It's a real romp.
We're on my channel right now, but for the one person who probably doesn't know Justin, his channel has lots of amazing videos on it. So you should check his channel out. Yeah,
and definitely check out, I know we're on Terminal Mode's channel, but I invited you here. Watch it, subscribe to Terminal Mode, watch his stuff, go all the way back to at least Fudge Rounds. That was my entry point to Terminal Mode content was Fudge Rounds, and it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I hope he has a resurgence. I got lucky with Christy Gnome coming back.
It all comes back.
Christy Gnome is back in power, changes. And I've got an idea for a Christy Gnome video that probably will do okay. So
I guess congratulations to you that she's back.
Yeah.
You only.
And thank you, Turtle Time, again. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, A-Human. Thank you, Turtle Time. Thank you, Thomas, if you're still here. Who else was in the chat?
Very early on, we had
Running on Empty was here for a bit.
Yes, and praised. He mentioned that your fart videos were what brought him into the JC.
This is the person I want to interview because I want to know if that's something that resonated with you. I need to know you. Yeah. I need to understand when, how, what, who, why, where. And
good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks, everybody. Really good hanging with you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.